Hello, everybody, and welcome to another episode of Latina Mic Drop. In this episode, we're going to talk about going beyond our job titles. Why go beyond our job titles? Because some of us, that's all we pay attention to. We want to have that director title, we want to have that executive title, we want to have that manager title. We want to have titles that equate to something. And I'm not saying that they're not important, they are important and they do have value and they are positions that are very fulfilling and can equate to success and the like. But what I'm talking about is the fact that many of us are sitting around, and I was guilty of this myself until about 3 years ago when I stopped. But many of us are sitting around thinking that our job title is the success, is the be all to our lives. And I see a lot of people who are only about their jobs and only about their work and only about the ambition and really just don't go and do anything else besides go to work, right? Wake up, go to work, do their job, and then come back home, go to sleep, go to work, do it all over again. Don't even eat, don't even have real friends, don't go out, don't have a love interest, don't have kids, don't, and not that everybody has to have kids, but don't even have pets, don't have anything. And other than their job, which is perfectly fine and dandy if that's what you want to do. But what I'm here to say is that there is more to life, more to you than your position and your job title. Because here are 5 reasons why. And one of them is because it's not the totality of who you are. I think a lot of times we stop being curious about ourselves or forget all the stuff that we intentionally liked or forgot everything that made us feel alive or some other things that make us feel alive, as well as what we're doing, as well as, going through the motions, as well as enjoying our job. But sometimes what happens is that we're go, 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 that sometimes we don't stop to reflect and say, you know what? What is a hobby that I like? Who are the people that I like to spend time with? Who are the people that I would be interested in possibly having a relationship with or having a friendship with, right? And what happens here is that we dedicate so much of our time and so much of ourselves to one place that everything we do revolves around that one job or that one thing. And for many of us, it's the job. That's the one thing that you need to show up for because otherwise you won't get that paycheck. And you have to deal with these people because otherwise you won't get that paycheck. Or you have to take advantage or do these roles and do these things and carry out those tasks because if you don't, you won't get that paycheck. Right. And the reality is that we are more than just our job. Like we have several different identities, we have several different interests, we have several different ways of moving, of doing, right? Like at work, I can't go dancing and I can't have fun and I can't talk as much as I would like to. I can't even curse or I can't spend time with who I want to spend time with. There are days where I need to be in meetings handling tasks that maybe are mundane or that are complex that I need to really focus and pay attention to. Or sometimes I have to be in rooms where I really don't like to be in the room with the people that I need to be in there with, but we need to carry out a project or carry out some tasks, right? And what I'm saying is that there is opportunity for you to do other things besides just work. And going beyond your job is an opportunity to explore other interests. So there are many different things that you could be interested in, but you have no idea because you haven't given it a chance. So for me, it was this podcasting. I love to talk, I love to have conversations with people. And even though I am here doing it by myself, I still feel like I am contributing and giving information and sharing as much as I can with the listeners that are here. So it's really important to be able to hone in on those things that are of interest to you and do it. So that's number two, that you miss out on the opportunity to explore other interests. Now, number three is that the job eventually can stop working for you. And in this sense, I mean that after a while, a job can get boring and it doesn't challenge you anymore, in a sense that you know what to do. You do it with your eyes closed. It's easy to you now. And just because it's easy doesn't mean that it makes you happy. Because for me, I know that I like to have challenging work. I know that I like to do work that is helping me grow. And once it stops that growth, I feel like I'm stuck. And one of the things that really helps me to know that I'm on a continuum of growth is the fact that I have new challenges that I can face and that I can work on new projects that are valuable, that give back, that are impactful, and that are setting other people up for success. And sometimes in our jobs, we don't get that opportunity. And see, like, I know people who are in their jobs and they love what they do and they can do that forever. I'm not one of those people who can sit there come day by day by day by day and do the same thing every single day. Like, that's just not what excites me at all, like at all. So I can do it, but it has to have a level of variety and a level of spontaneity, which is the reason why I think, well, the reason why I know I'm in the position that I'm in, because every day is a different day and everything calls for different skills. So even though it may seem a little chaotic, I'm okay with that and it works for me. Even though I do enjoy the peace and I do enjoy doing things that I know I can handle, but at the same time, I want to be able to continue to grow and continue to learn and continue to do great things. So the job could eventually stop working for you in a way that it doesn't any longer provide that fulfillment, that looking forward to it. And the other piece is too that in that same field, you can also lose your job. And so if you lose your job and you're not working there anymore unexpectedly due to a layoff, and that's all you did and that's all you knew, then when you walk away from it, not because you wanted to, but because you were kind of forced to, then you're wondering, what should I do? What is it that you're going to do? But if you had some level of interest in something else, or you were dipping your hands into some other type of work, then you could figure out what it is that maybe could lead you to doing something. And, in this day and age, you have the opportunity to grow where you want to grow, because we have options nowadays. It's not like before where you could only have one job. Nowadays, we can have more than one job. We can do more than one thing. There are 24 hours in a day where we can be selective about our time, where we spend it, and how we spend it. And then number four is that you can stay in the same place that will keep you at the same salary. So staying at the same place and keeping you at the same salary, or only seeing 3% or whatever it is in your organization, right? And sometimes that's the best way, is to know exactly what you're going to get and to know what those increments are annually, as opposed to none at all. But then again, at the same time, you could be losing out on a 10% or 15% or even 20% increase if you were to move on to another position. And so that helped me quite a bit, even though it went against what people thought I should be doing, because people think you should spend 5, 10 years in a freaking job and then move on because now you've mastered it, right? There are some places where you can do the work and then it can easily lead to another position. And so thankfully for me, I was able to do that 8 consecutive times after about a year and a half in each of the positions that I was in. Now, when I did that, I didn't have 15 years of experience. So I felt like I had been stuck for 15 years almost and didn't move. And had I seeked an opportunity earlier, I probably could have been making more money earlier in my career, earlier in my life. But because I chose to stay in the same job and didn't look for another opportunity, the opportunity came to me, then I probably could have still been at that job. And so what that taught me was, hey, don't stay at the job too long because you want to continue to move. And thankfully, everything that I did was progressive in responsibility, and therefore it worked for me. But at this day and age, you can pivot anytime because we do have a lot of transferable skills that we can take to another position and take to another job or even another organization, or even do during our 5 to 9, right? Or if you have a non-traditional job where you don't work a regular 9 to 5 and you have other days off, you can do other things and you can use your time to do those things. And then number 5 is that you miss out on opportunities for growth. And missing opportunities for growth is key because if you don't change where you're working or you don't move and you don't explore, right, you're not going to learn anything new. You're going to always be in the same place with the same skills, with the same information. And now, for some people, that's fine. Some people do like to know what they're doing and know how they're handling it every single day, know that they can come in, do an hour or two of work, and then go home. So I guess we will all come to a place in that. I'm not sure. I'm just thinking ahead if that's how it is, because I do know some people who are okay with doing the same thing day in and day out. But for me, not so much. Like, I need to have a level of growth. And the reason is because I have recognized that I have outgrown my current role, and therefore I'm now seeking more opportunities to do other things. The level of flexibility that comes with that is minimal when you work for other people, because you need to be in alignment with their business goals and with their organizational goals and with what is on the top of their mind. And you may not be at the top of their line. You may not be what they want to focus on in the current realm. It's not that you're not important or you're not valuable. It's just that it doesn't fit whatever it is that they're currently working on, right? And that can make you feel like you're sidelined, and that can make you feel like you're not part of a team. But what you can do is you can be the person who owns their career and owns their path and explores different things, because you don't want to have missed opportunities by not having your resume ready and not exploring new things, or by not learning a new skill or a new trade, by not being open to taking a new course, to taking a new class, to going to a workshop, to opening yourself up to new people. And I love the fact that going beyond your title is just a way of expanding and exploring yourself and giving your full self the opportunity to grow and to give your creativity a go, because life is too short for us to be sitting around unhappy, not doing things that we are curious about, or not asking ourselves questions as to what makes us happy or what may spark us joy, what may pique our interest. And it really does take a little bit of reflection, even taking time to yourself to understand that it might even be a way for you to decompress from your work, decompress from your day, decompress from the everyday pattern, the everyday traditional day that you have. It could be a way where you disrupt the pattern and you can find something new and figure out a new way to deal with your day. For me, example, when I get in the train, what I do is I write. So that's my time that I answer the Forbes expert panel questions so that they can come out in a future article. So what I'll do is I'll review them in the morning on my way in and let it simmer in my brain for a day or two. And then I will come back to it when I'm on my way home, or fresh in the morning when I'm on my way in, to be able to give you those tips and strategies for myself. And it's not just going to work, and it's not just thinking about those emails that come in that sometimes annoy the hell out of us, or those requests that come in that you're like, really? Wow. But, on top of the other ones that are good emails that you get, there's always good and there's bad in everything that we do. So let's not make it seem like it's horrible, because having a job and working is a great thing. And it is what pays the bills. And it is something that is fulfilling. And it is something that gives you a level of accomplishment, and they do value what you provide. So it is important to have a job. But what I'm here to say is that sometimes doing one thing and one job isn't everything in your life. And we are people who have different likes and dislikes, and we have permission to explore those things and explore what we like to do and explore what we're curious about, or have a little fun, or enjoy a brand new, out of your comfort zone type of thing. So it's always good to step out of your title and try something new, because you never know. You never know. Life is too short, and there's plenty of opportunities out there. You just need to be open to it. And if you're closed to it, you could sit in the same place for a very long time and not even realize that you missed an opportunity, not even realize that you missed the salary increase, not even realize that you missed growth, that you missed fulfilling something that you enjoy, or revisiting something that made you who you are and you have a good time again. And we really just don't want to let the job titles define us completely. It is something that we do, but it isn't who we are. And it is definitely an opportunity to explore and move and go further than where we are today. I would have not expected that I would be a podcaster, I would be writing books, that I would be doing writing panels, that I would lead New York Lean in Latina circle for other women. I've done a lot of this individually, and I've always wanted to volunteer, and I've always wanted to do all these kind of things, but I never really thought I would be doing it all at the same time as 9 to 5. But I must admit that I am having a lot of fun. I am meeting a lot of new people. I am exploring everything that I love to write about and I love to share. So it is really good to be able to do that. And if you haven't had the opportunity to do so, go ahead. You never know. And I'm not saying the grass is greener on the other side all the times, because sometimes we think the grass is greener on the other side. And then when you go there, you're like, oh my goodness, I really should have stayed where I was, because that was actually better than where I'm at. But then again, new things are going to be uncomfortable and new things are going to feel awkward at first, because we don't know what we're walking into and we don't know what we don't know until we do know. And it is just really good to feel that we are human beings who have choices, who can decide, you know what, I can do something else besides having my regular day job. And some people really go ahead and spend like 16 hours a day to one job that really you're technically only supposed to be working 8 hours or 7.25 or 7.5 or whatever it might be. Or you might even only need to work 12 hours and then you're still thinking about it on the other days. And listen, we all think about it, right? It's okay to think about the job. It's okay to plan ahead. It's okay to be forward thinking. It's okay to reflect on it. And that's perfectly fine. What I'm here to say is that sometimes we just need a little help. We need a little push, or we want to explore different things. And there's more to life than just our job titles. And even our job titles, I wouldn't even be too hung up on what the title is. Some people do that all the time and they're thinking, oh, but I'm doing this and the job title should be this. And I'm not saying don't go for what you believe or don't think that it's important. It is, because you definitely should be reflecting in your job title what you're doing. But sometimes we just give it so much attention that we take away the value that we bring in other areas. And to be a well-rounded person, we should be exploring other areas other than our jobs and figure out ways to make ourselves have a good time and explore other things. So that was today's episode of Latina Mic Drop. And I am super happy and excited that I get to come to you every single week. I will catch you on the other side next week on Monday. Have a good rest of your week. Give something new a try and let me know how it goes. Take care.